The Dayton Flyers started their championship week on Wednesday, with men's soccer playing Fordham in the Atlantic 10 semifinal. Hjalti Sigurdsson put the Flyers in front in the fourth minute, thanks to an outstanding corner kick from Martin Bakken. UD doubled the lead in the 68th minute with this rocket from Ethan Sassine. The Flyers advanced to the Atlantic 10 championship game with their second straight shutout, beating the Rams 2-0. Championship Sunday featured a huge crowd at Beaujean Field to watch Dayton take on the St. Louis Billikens. In the 42nd minute, super sub Felix Boabeng delivered the go-ahead goal. The Flyers, up a man and a goal at half, doubled their lead in the second half when Braden Seal found Joseph Meltaquia in the 70th minute. Just 3 minutes later, Felix Boabeng put the game out of reach with his second goal of the contest, and UD beat SLU 3-0. The Flyers, after winning the tournament title on the road last season, go back-to-back and hoist the trophy this year in front of the Flyer faithful. Dayton Volleyball also picked up a trophy over the weekend at St. Louis, winning the Atlantic 10 regular season title. Tim Horsman's squad, for the second straight year, went a perfect 18-0. UD won in straight sets both Friday and Saturday. This week, Liana Sarkisian was named A10 Defensive Player of the Week, and the Flyers move up a spot to number 18 in the country. This weekend, they'll host the Atlantic 10 Championships as the number 1 seed at the Frerick Center. Dayton men's basketball grabbed a couple of wins last week at home against Ball State and Capital. Wednesday, Enoch Cheeks and Malachi Smith both produced double-doubles, and the Flyers beat the Cardinals 77-69. Saturday night, Dayton beat Capital 76-55. Behind Javon Bennett, 16 points, 5 assists, and 5 rebounds. Freshman Amael Latong recorded his first double-double with 13 points and 10 rebounds. Makai Grant scored his first bucket as a Flyer, and UD moved to 4-0 on the season. Dayton football got back in the win column on Saturday, beating Valpo 26-14 on Senior Day. Luke Hansen ran for 100 yards and a touchdown. Gavin Lockow had over 100 yards all-purpose with 2 touchdowns. On defense, Gideon Lampron had 11 tackles and 2 tackles for loss, as the redshirt sophomore was named PFL Defensive Player of the Week for the 3rd time this season. Dayton women's basketball, after losing Thursday night at Duke, bounced back Sunday with a 76-58 victory over Tennessee State. Ivy Wolf had 23 points to lead UD, shooting 6 of 9 from 3. Ricky Harris scored 13 points with 6 assists and 4 rebounds. Tamika Williams-Jetter's group now 3-1 on the season. This week, we stay on the court and talk to men's basketball assistant coach Jermaine Henderson, who enters his 2nd season with the Flyers. We talk about his favorite part about coaching and the slim margin between being a good team and an NCAA tournament team.
I think it's this perpetual build-up, if you will. I've been mostly at programs that had to earn their way to the NCAA tournament. And even when I was at Kansas State as an assistant and we were able to take multiple trips to the NCAA, you were still on edge. So that gives you this fire, this chip on your shoulder. So I'm proud of that. But you're exactly right. There's, in 2007, Doug Pinto from Alter High School here, he banks one in, and that sends us to the NCAA. But I also remember in 2001, Doug Davis getting a charge against Kent State, and we lose a heartbreaker by like 5. We were winning at that point in the game, in the MAC championship game. So you're right. The difference between advancing and not being invited is minuscule. And so what happens is it's taught me to enjoy the journey along the way, but always be moving forward. That was one of Coach Coles' valuable lessons. Was it didn't really matter what happened to us in December and January. We wanted to be healthy. We wanted to be playing good, playing together, and we wanted to be peaking around tournament time. Now, conversely, in being at Dayton, because of the pageantry, the resources, and the position that Coach Grant has always had the program in, there's a lot more challenges early in the year and during the year to sustain that. So it's always in front of us. It's always in front of our team in terms of the goals. And every step of the way, we try to include that in everything we do, practice, film, scouting, where we want to be come March. And that's been phenomenal to witness. And going back to, again, a year ago, those guys followed it to the letter. The games we needed to win, we almost knew how we had to win and what was most important. And I thought we all were able to experience the fruits of that labor with a 7 seed and then, of course, going to the second round. So it all comes full circle, whether you earn your way in the tournament or in that large bid, but that's playing college ball. You've never played college basketball unless you played in the NCAA tournament.
Well, full circle for you of playing at UD Arena and the NCAA, turn back around. What's the thing you most enjoy about coaching?
The impact you can have on young guys. I was a poor kid from Columbus, and had I not been able to earn a scholarship to Miami University, I would have never been able to go to college. I couldn't afford it. My family didn't have the resources. Those things have changed vastly with student athletes these days, as we're talking 30 plus years ago. But in the end, what I want out of it is to inspire young people, to encourage young people and be part of their development. And it keeps you hungry because it doesn't always work. You talked about just missing the mark in some seasons. Sometimes you just miss the mark with individuals. You never achieve. One of my greatest relationships to the day is a kid named Julius Johnson, call him Juby Johnson. He was out of Cleveland, Ohio. Gatorade Player of the Year in 1999. Came to Miami, was the most heralded player since maybe Harper. And we never won a championship. But the relationship he and I have now to the day as men is one of a kind. It's one of my most cherished possessions. His father married my wife and I. And so those are the things I'm after, trying to build those young men up. We're hopeful that we win championships, we go to NCAA tournaments, but it's trying to have impact, trying to give them influence, and trying to make them better men than maybe even I was or how guys were, back in the day. But I don't think it's ever been about wins and losses. Those things have come, but it's been about trying to have influence and impact their lives in a positive way.
This entire interview will be released on Thursday at noon on Spotify, Apple Music, and our YouTube channel at Dayton Flyers. The action starts Wednesday night with Dayton basketball back on the hardwood against New Mexico State at home, 7 p.m. tip. On Thursday, the Dayton women take the floor at UD Arena when they play Providence at 7. And Dayton Volleyball will look to go back-to-back as they play the Atlantic 10 semifinal on Saturday at the Farrick Center with first serve at 1. UD football also in action on Saturday. They hit the road. They wrap up the regular season at St. Thomas when they face the Tommies at 2. And Sunday, Dayton men's soccer will play the second round of the NCAA tournament. Following a bye, Dennis Courier's crew grabbed the 5 seed and will play home Sunday night at 7 against the winner of Michigan and Robert Morris. For more information on Dayton athletics, you go online, DaytonFlyers.com, and follow us on social media at Dayton Flyers.